Hi, in this video, we take a look at Methodox Threads, a structured multi-branch workspace for thinking, writing, and AI conversation management. We'll look at how to download and run the program, the concept of projects and documents, some of the typical use cases of Threads, introduce menus, navigation, how to save and export your documents, and eventually how to use generative AI to continue your conversation directly within the program. You can download Methodox Threads by purchasing it from itch.io page. After you have purchased the program, scroll down to the available downloads. If you are using Windows, download the version for Windows. If you are using Mac, download the version for OS X. In this case, I will be demonstrating using Windows. After you have downloaded the zip archive, you can extract it. If you go into the folder, you can see the program threads.exe. Double-click to launch the program. When you first launch the program, you will see an empty canvas with a text editor seated in the center of the canvas. You can adjust the size of this particular text area by using the sliders right here. So the first thing you need to know about Threads is it's organized using projects, and each project contains many documents. Essentially, the entire workspace represents a single project, and every text editor that you create represents a document. You can create text editors as siblings next to each other, or children that follows linearly. And you can create siblings within a particular level. Every sibling will share the available space from its parent. So here, let's say we have level 0, and this is our thread 1. And we have level 0, thread 2, level 0, thread 3. And here we're at level 1, thread 1, and level 1, thread 2. And this is level 1, thread 3. And eventually we are at level 2, thread 1. So this is the entire project. You can save your project by going to File and Save. This will save the project as a JSON file, which you can open later using the Open menu. You can also export your project as a folder of Markdown. You can look at how specifically this works in the video on exporting as Markdown files. Let's take a look at some typical use cases of Methodox Threads. Let's open an example. Here, I'm demonstrating how you can use it for explorative writing. Let's say we are trying to write a novel, and you can set up the goal of your project by going to Project, README. Here you can say what you're trying to achieve in this particular project. Let's say you want to explore potential themes for a next fantasy novel. And the first thing we come up with is we want to explore the concept of dragons, and then we can explore the concept of magical beings, and then we can say explore maybe sci-fi concepts. And then for each thread, you can say if we are going along this direction, we want to talk about where they are, how they can be tamed, and their abilities. And then if you are stuck, you can move on to the next topic. What is magic? What are their variations? How to learn those? If you think this direction is interesting, you can continue exploring that, or you want to focus more practically. What are some fun stories? You jump directly into stories instead of world building. And then along that direction, you can say any countries and regions more popular. And then what are our main characters? And if that direction goes well, you can continue. Where shall our story start? Right? So that is how you can use it in an explorative writing scenario. The second example is to simply archive your AI conversations. So here, let's say we have some conversation with ChatGPT. And after we ask some questions, we have these branches. Typically, within this linear interface, it's hard to see where we were going. If you remember, you might know, okay, we had a branch here, but otherwise, it's not very obvious. So to address this problem, what you can do is by making use of this prompt. You can use prompt to save your original question and save the agent's reply inside the text content of the document. So here I have already saved the first branch. Let's continue with the second branch. So the second branch starts from this level, which we call level 1. You can call it the second level if you want. So we can create the sibling. And our original question is, what are some algorithms generate private key pairs? And then this is agent's reply. I'm just going to copy it and paste it right here. After this conversation is finished, we can continue to the next one. And here I'm just going to copy the same thing and paste it over here. As you can see, this way it's clearer. We have exactly 2 branches. And the first branch has only 2 conversations, and second branch has 3 conversations in total. That is how you can archive your chat in a generative AI context. After you are finished, remember to save it. But let me show you, just take a look how Markdown export works. If we go to export, and then we can create an empty folder and select the folder. That will export everything into the Markdown format. Now if we go to the folder, you can see it follows a specific convention. If we open it in a typical text editor, you can see all the questions are stored inside the _q Markdown file. All the answers are stored inside _a file. And all the branches are stored in their respective folders. So that is how you can export into Markdown files. Now as the last topic, let's take a look at how you can use the integrate AI generation to continue a conversation. So for instance, along this particular thread, let's say we are interested in how to do it in a specific programming language. So instead of go back to the ChatGPT interface, if you have an OpenAI API key, you can set it up by go to Edit, Configure, and go to OpenAI, and paste your OpenAI key. Remember to set your system prompt to something related to your particular task. Let's say be succinct and answer clearly. That is our system prompt. Now with that set, you can close it and the configurations will be saved automatically. Now we can continue this thread by creating a child. Here, we are going to set our prompt. The prompt will be how to generate a public private key pair using Python. Click OK, and now we can click the Generate button. In this particular case, we were using GPT-4 mini model. If you have a model that we haven't provided as preset, you can enter the model name here. Let's just use GPT-4 mini for now. And you can see it will provide the answer here. When the conversation gets really long, sometimes you don't really care about all the intricate details, just want to have a quick overview of everything. That's where this height adjustment slider comes into play. This allows you to essentially compress your workspace. That's it. That's all the features we have for now in version 0.7.1 for Methodox Threads. I wish you find this tool useful. Thank you for watching.